what up everybody? This is the SLC Punkcast live and wired videocast. I think that's what we're going to call it now. I'm your host, Eric, and I'm here to tell you about shows that are going to be happening, and I get to tell you about shows that I've attended. And yeah, I attended some pretty cool ones lately. Well, I was going to attend two, but I ended up just going to one. But it was the one that mattered the most to me. The most. So yeah, let's just get into it right now. Let's not beat around the bush. This is Tales from the Pit. Yeah, my Tales from the Pit was almost from the crypt because what I saw was dead boys. Yeah, that's the title of this episode of Tales from the Pit. I see dead boys. If you follow me on Instagram, then you probably noticed my story that I preluded the episode, or the episode. I preluded the footage that I posted on my Instagram story with a picture of Haley Joel Osment, who played Cole in The Sixth Sense, and it was in that scene where he's like bundled up and he's telling Bruce Willis, "I see dead people." So I had I see dead boys. You know, I'll give that to Dustin so he can just put it on the screen behind me. You can just, yeah, you'll see it there, or you'll see it on my Instagram. Doesn't matter. So yeah, the Dead Boys show, man, that was awesome. That was my third time seeing Dead Boys, and my first time seeing them here in Salt Lake, and in Aces High. I was thinking, this is a fucking awesome show. This is an awesome opportunity to see one of the progenitors of punk rock as we know it in this little fucking grimy ass punk rock dive bar. And yep, I wouldn't have had it any other way. But yeah, before I get into the Dead Boys, got to talk about Debasers. Debasers was an awesome time. They're always a good time to see. Yeah, just as like this little three-piece punk rock band, and see my friend Pharaoh just rattle away on those fucking drums, and just see Dalby just as hunched over as he is these days, just like crane his neck up to that mic and just let out all these fucking kick-ass punk vocals. So it's great to see the Basers and their bassist. By the way, I even made a joke about this. I cannot for the life of me remember his name, I'm sorry, but I did a close-up on his face and said, so Randy Quaid is now playing bass for the Basers, because if you look at this guy's face, yeah, he does look like Cousin Eddie. It's pretty hilarious. I'm thinking, like, if they do a Christmas show if they do a Christmas show or some show closer to Christmas, he should dress up as Uncle Eddie or Cousin Eddie, or he is, but... His character is known as Cousin Eddie, because that would be funny. Anyways, this is a movie review or a show review. So yeah, Debasers, they kicked ass. I was just sitting there vibing, just enjoying the music, and then that was not the same for the next band, Burn Kit. And Burn Kit, holy shit. Okay, first of all, Burn Kit, how they sound pretty close to like goth rock era Damned. They sounded very close to that distinction. And the singer, he looked very much the part. He was dressed in all black. He was wearing sunglasses. I say that's a pretty fun homage to Dave Vanian, who, well, he dressed up like the Count. He dressed up like Dracula. You know, but this guy was pretty close. But it wasn't the music that was getting me. I mean, the music was good, don't get me wrong. I really loved that music. Just that sort of... sound wavy, spacey sound that goth rock is known for, with the energy of punk rock, and that's why they reminded me of the Damned and also the Cure to some extent. But their singer, he was just off the fucking chain. He had a wireless mic, and you know what that means? He took every advantage of that. He went all around the crowd. He was getting people moving. He was climbing up onto the rafters and just hanging down from there while still singing. And there was a point where he even where their bassist, his bass was cutting out. And he just kept the mic in his hand, and then he just started pulling out cables. Back to the mic. Lyrics. He was multitasking, and it was just unbelievable to see that kind of showmanship while he was still doing like a stage crew work. But the thing that got me is he went outside, mid-set, outside while still singing. And he just climbed up on the windows. You know, at Aces High, the windows that are facing outward, they have bars up on them. And he was just jumping up, holding on to the bars, and he was just shuffling around from the north side of the south side of the bar, you know, the wall of the bar, to the north side, and just singing at the people through the windows who were sitting in the booths right there. I was absolutely enamored with this. I could not keep my eyes off of him. Talk about fucking showmanship. And then at another point in the show, he pulled a traffic cone off the side of the stage. It was there. Then he stuck the mic inside of it. And then he just sang it like he was singing through a fucking foghorn. And then whoop, out comes the mic. There goes the cone. Back to business. It was insane. It was bonkers. It was a bonkers set, and they were their performance was just on key. They were so fucking good. It's one thing to be a showman. It's one thing to like have all this bravado and just look crazy and do all this wacky shit up on stage. But what is there to come back to? Are people going to listen to your music, or do they just come to your shows? And no, that was not the case. They do have great music. I bought 2 of their 7 inches and a couple of stickers from them right after the show. And I told them about the Punkcast, and it's like, we'd love to have you on. And they jumped on that idea like, yes, fucking please, just keep us in touch. We would love to be on that show, okay? I would love to talk to you guys at great lengths. So yeah, if there's any band that you really need to see, check out Burn Kit. That is the big takeaway from this whole Tales from the Pit. This Tale from the Pit. Go see Burn Kit. Tale from the Kit, Burn from the Kit. They were just such a great band. I mean, Dead Boys, yeah, they have their spot. They are a more than well-established band. Everyone knows who the Dead Boys are. But Burn Kit, they're a little lesser known. Yeah, and talking of Dead Boys, how did they perform? Well, they performed extremely well. Everyone was making the joke, the one live Dead Boy, of course, talking about their guitarist, Cheetah. He's still the only original member. And yeah, they don't even have the same singer they had when they reunited. For the love of my life, I cannot remember his name. I don't want to look like a fucking show just looking shit up on my phone, just trying to be, it was this guy. No, I should have came more prepared. But be that as it may, the singer that they had when they reunited, the past 2 times that I've seen them, he got kicked out like earlier this year, and now he's replaced with this new guy, this new singer. Another somewhat older gent, maybe within that same age range, and he held his own. He was doing pretty good. He was getting up in everybody's face and just having a ball with the performance. He was having fun. And yet the Dead Boys, they were fun. They played a lot of great songs from the Young, Loud, and Snotty album. They did a few deep cuts from their other records. And of course, they closed with Sonic Reducer. And even on a Friday night, some of the old punkers, you can start to tell they're getting a little withered. Yeah, some of them had like, okay, let me take a break. They're playing a song that I don't know much of. I'm going to go have a beer break outside or a smoke break outside. And then Sonic Reducer, they saved the best for last, and then everyone came fucking rolling back. Everybody's clamoring up to the front, just waiting to belt out those vocals. I don't need anyone. Don't need no mom and dad. And I was right there. One of the first punk songs I had ever listened to, and just absolutely fell in love with the Dead Boys. So yeah, it was great seeing Dead Boys, and I had to bring my girlfriend with me because Kate loves the Dead Boys, but she had never seen them. I go, okay, we're making sure that we're going to see you. We're going to make sure that you're going to see them. So yeah, the only downside of that show is that Dead Boys merch was not that cool. It just wasn't. It didn't look that cool. It was, they didn't have a lot of merch anyway. They had like 4 shirts. One of them was kind of funny. It was a ripoff of the Coca-Cola logo, but instead of Coca-Cola, it was Dead Boys. I thought that was pretty funny. It's funny, but it's not something I would wear. Yeah. And it's Dead Boys. They've been a band since 1977. They really don't need to worry about getting their name out there. Whereas Burn Kit, boy, they had a whole fucking wall to themselves. They had like 8 or 9 different style shirts. They had koozies, they had stickers, they had tapes, they had 7 inches. They had, they even had a little tote bag. They were going all out with their merch, and I hope that they sold a good deal of it because, you know, being on tour is fucking brutal, and they deserve all the attention that they are getting because they are just fucking rad. So yeah, Burn Kit, one of my favorite newer bands, at least new to me. Yeah, new to me. And yeah, I will get back to you guys on getting an interview set up because yeah, I really want to know what makes you guys tick. I want to know the intricacies of your genre, of your music. Jesus Christ. What inspired you to create the music that you do? I mean, we touched on that a little bit when we were just sort of having a little conversation back and forth at the bar after the show. Yeah. Oh, and you got to see the fireworks. Yeah, there was some altercations going on outside of the bar. Someone walked out with a beer that he purchased from inside, and then he cracked open another beer that he brought on the sidewalk outside, and that was just, it turned into a whole fucking thing. It turned into a ruckus. It was not a fucking, oh boy, I'm not going to name names. I'm not going to, if you were there, you know what I mean, but I'm not going to name names. But the fact that this was happening right in front of Burn Kit's tour van, they're just there looking like, what the fuck? And I just go, I assure you, this isn't always how it is, you know? This is just some guy who did a stupid thing, and now we're handling the situation as you see. That's sometimes happens. And they're just like, well, this early in the tour, this is, we already got a great story. People were telling us, and they were talking about how people were telling them about the Salt Lake scene of old, the hardcore scene, and all the violence and all the crazy shit that happened. And of course, all outsiders who've never been to a Salt Lake punk show or a Salt Lake hardcore show in the current time, in this current state of affairs, they have that preconception about it. And we're really not like that. Like, not anymore. There's still stupid beefs and shit that go around, but nobody gets their ass kicked at a hardcore show just because they showed up with long hair. That doesn't happen anymore. But they still couldn't hold back saying like, so this is Salt Lake. This is what we were expecting. No, the shit that you heard of happened with people who are sober. This is because a motherfucker got too drunk. Could happen at any bar, really, but it just had to be this one. So welcome to Salt Lake. Hope you guys come back. I'm sure you guys will be back. It was you had a blast here. I had a blast watching you guys. Anyway, that's my tale from the pit. And I will be back with another tale from the pit because we have some shows happening next week, and one of them I will definitely be attending, and I will be talking about that just after this one, on the 20th. We're starting on September 20th, this Saturday. The first one, Mortis, Contraferous, Angel Slaughter, and High Charity are going to be playing up in Ogden at Black Lung Society. That is a $12 show, and that thing starts at 7 p.m. And then the show that I'll be attending on the 20th, well, one of them, they are both lower class brats. They are coming back to Salt Lake and they're playing 2 shows. 2 shows in one day. 2 shows, one day. Where are they playing? Well, the first one they'll be playing is at Oliver Rock. That's going to be starting at 1 p.m. And they will be accompanied by Power Beer, Ham Apple, The Afraid, The Scoffs, Debasers, All for None, Repeller, Rockin' Chads, Ad Nauseum, and Target of Insanity. So that's a pretty stacked bill as it is. And that's going to be happening at Oliver Rock, again, starting at 1 p.m. Then, later that evening at 7 p.m., they will be at Ace's High Saloon playing with Goners UK, Hi-Fi Murder, and Flight Kamikaze. Endless Struggle, unfortunately, had to drop for reasons, only known by them and those close to them, but So yeah, it sucks that Endless Struggle won't be joining the stage with lower class brats. That would have been awesome. I couldn't think of any other band from Salt Lake that is more fitting to play with them. But such is the way it goes. But whatever. Again, we still have Hi-Fi, Kamikaze, and Goners, Gonorrhea UK still opening for them. So yeah, to get to both of those shows, you got to pay. They're $25 each. I don't think they worked out like a special ticket where you buy. Where you purchase one ticket to go to both shows at a price of $40 or something like that. I mean, that would have been cool. That's how I would have done it. I'm not saying they did do that or didn't. Maybe they did and I didn't know about it, but I guess you'll just find out when you get there. Either way, just if you want to go to both of those shows, just expect to pay a grand total of $50. So that's on the 20th. I will be attending the second show. I'll be attending the evening show, the one over at Aces High. I would go to the other one, but it's Saturday. I got a lot of shit that I have to do. One regarding my car, another regarding my band. So that's understandable, right? Right? You don't care. Or maybe you do. Or maybe it's not that big a deal. But it's a big deal to me. And moving on, September 23rd. The band Hong Kong Fuck You is coming to Salt Lake with Ick, Crocodile Hunter, Sea-Doo, and Malfeasance. That's going to be at One Love Coffee. I don't know what the price is of admission for this show. I assume it would be relatively cheap considering it's a one of these DIY shows. But I do know that it starts at 5 p.m. Anyway, on the 24th, Ick will be playing another show, also with Malfeasance, along with Mindlock, Gusano, Meat Tube, and whatever the hell that band is right above Meat Tube. I cannot read that. It looks like it starts with an R, like Ruds or some shit, but Rudzo. I don't know. I asked if someone knows the name of that band, but they have not gotten back to me yet. So if you know it, just tag yourselves or tag them or whatever. And anyway, that's going to be happening at this place. I'm not sure where this is or what this is, but the address is 7740 West and 2820 South. So somewhere out in West Valley. Probably someone's house. Anyway, they're asking for a $5 to $10 admission or pay what you can. Just bring something to the door. And that's going to be starting at 6 p.m. Then on the 26th, Noogie, Pogo Sticks, which will be their first show. Fancy Lads and Repeller will all be playing. And I know that Pogo Sticks, that's a project that my friend Tyler started, who is the bassist of Repeller. Because he wants to bring back Pogo Punk so bad. And he's doing so by literally putting his notion at the forefront in the name of his band. Anyway, that's going to be at Oliver Rock. It's a $10 admission, and it will start at 6 p.m. Also on the 26th, High on Fire, Charger, and Bastardane will be playing at the Stateroom. That is $32, and it starts at 8 p.m. I wanted to go to this show. I really, 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 really wanted to. I still want to go to this show, but I can't because I am going to be boarding a plane at that time to go to Ohio. And what's in Ohio? Well, it's not a show. It's not a show that I'm going to. But it's the former guitarist of Cancer Christ and also current guitarist of Gwar. He has a home in Ohio that he kind of turned into a little museum. And the museum contains all of these little stage props and these different little trinkets that he's collected throughout his years touring with Cancer Christ and now also with Gwar. So he's set up like a whole exhibit in his house. And it really has to be like you have to know a person, or you have to know him, or you have to know somebody who knows him to get in there. And my friend Liz knows the guy knows that guitarist personally, and she caught wind about his little exhibit, and he invited her, and that she was allowed to bring a +1. The plus one being me, because she knows how much I love Cancer Christ and how much I love Guar and how much I would love to fucking see this shit. So yeah, I was ready to. So yeah, I was so ready to just get that little VIP treatment, and yeah, I get to be up front to see all these stage props that were once used by these artists and these bands that I really, really love. Some of whom I cannot see anymore. So yeah, it is a good reason to go out there, you know. And yeah, I'll check out Columbus. I know it's a college town, so maybe there will be a good bar scene. Who knows? Who knows? We'll see what goes on out there. Maybe there will be a show out there. I mean, I'm sure there's got to be. If anyone in Columbus has any leads on what shows to check out, I'd sure like to hear them, because I'll be out there. I'm missing High on Fire for this shit. Spilt Milk, whatever. I've seen them twice already. But I am bummed that I will be missing Charger. I really like Charger, this Motor Charge band that Matt Freeman put together a few years ago. It's good shit. It really is. Again, Spilt Milk, you'll be fine. Anyway, September 27th, Beyond All Doubt, Maldita Gente, and Winter's Farewell, and Forever War, all will be playing at Fellowship Hall. That's $15 admission, and it starts at 8 p.m. And finally, on the 28th, PS Destroy This will be releasing their album Glitter Pussy 3000. Good God, I wish I was making that up, but at the same time, I'm glad I'm not making that up, because that is an awesome, awesome, awesome name. Glitter Pussy 3000. Yeah. Joining them will be Gonk and Venus Death Trap. That's going to be downtown at Church and State. It is $10 admission, and it starts at 7 p.m. And that's all I got for the shows coming up in the next 8 or 9 days. And I hope you guys are able to make it out to one or two of them, and I hope that you guys have a great time and you stay safe. And and that you don't get injured. And if you do get uninjured, then I hope you have a cool story to go along with it. So guys, once again, I am Eric. This was Tales from the Pit and my portion of Live and Wired. I hope you get to make it out to some of those shows, and I'm going to turn it over to Dustin so he can tell you about shows that are coming up in your area. And he's also got a little tale from the pit to tell you as well. So until next week, guys, yeah, peace out.
Thank you, Eric. And now we go around the world. We're going to start off with this Sex Pistols tour. Frank Carter and Steve Jones, Paul Cook, Glenn Matlock of the Sex Pistols. As you can see on the flyer, it's already kicked off. It's here in the States. The 16th has happened, but Riot Fest is this weekend. So there you go. I'm not even going to throw a flyer up. There's Riot Fest happening, and they're doing looks like an after show and a part of Riot Fest. They've got some other sold out shows. I don't know if other stuff is sold out since then, but they'll be on the East Coast, a couple in Canada, through the Midwest, and even out here on October 10th, they'll be Denver. That's as close as they're getting to me. But then they'll be in Seattle, San Francisco, and Los Angeles, playing with bands like Suicide Machines, Molotovs, Military Gun, and Potato Pirates. So a lot of great opening bands for them as well. Then our pals in Easy Company are in the Netherlands this weekend. They actually did a show last night in Amsterdam, tonight, Groningen and Alkmaar. So make sure you check them out. Netherlands killer band. They've got a killer new record that's out on POW Records, so go check that out. Then there's Liar Palooza, which is tonight, starts tonight, featuring Cardiel, Service, JoJo, and the Clackers. This is in Chicago, by the way, at Liars Club. So it is, Riot Fest, but you can also go check these shows out if you're there for Riot Fest. Bull Weevils are tomorrow with Boy Brain, Mary Jam, and then from Parts Unknown, Sweet Milk, and Silver Abuse, all at Liars Club in Chicago. Then on October 3rd, our pals in Direct Action, they've got a show, and I'll be talking with them this coming Monday, so out next week at some point will be the interview and the bonus episodes and all those things over on Punk and Oi Worldwide. Hillsiders and the Jesters are also playing on that show, so make sure you go check that out October 3rd. Cafe Den Bol in Morkoven, so go check them out. Love our pals in Direct Action. This GGI Fest is something that Easy Company are at. Looks like, I think it's their Saturday show, yes. I don't know how to pronounce all the other things, but it looks like it's going to be a lot of fun over in Groningen. So in Groningen, go check out a bunch of great bands this weekend. You get a fest over there in Netherlands, 19th, 20th, and 21st. 3 Bad Jacks with the Zeros on September 27th, also featuring Das Clown, Kilroy, Toledo Panic, 5th Street Saints. That's at Ventura Theater, or the Majestic Ventura Theater. It's $25, all ages. Doors are at 5:30. VenturaTheater.net if you want any more details. So make sure you go check out all of those killer bands in Southern California. We'll bounce to the Northeast now, opposite end of the country. Wallingford, Connecticut at Cherry Street Station. You got to go see Cry Havoc, Fafa, Chum Huffer, Static Friction, Chemical X. That is Saturday the 20th. It's 21 and older. Doors are at 7. $12 in advance, so do that today, because tomorrow the tickets will be $15. Not that much more. Get to the show either way. Then we got Assicor 2025 tour. It'll feature Lions Law, Oystern, A Social, Soifas, Bier Ballistic, and this is in Magdeburg in Germany. I think the venue is just called Factory. It's on Saturday the 27th. Get your info, tickets, and everything at spirittickets.de, so make sure you go check that out. Love Lions Law, a bunch of great bands in Germany. There is a festival that is going to be October 3rd and 4th, Dystopic Festival in Nancy, France. There's 12 groups, 2 days. It looks like €25. That is a steal right there. Look at the bands that you get to see. Syndrome 81, Comptoir Chaos, Rancour, Golpe, Zero Talent Turnoff, Abolition, Carmen Colere, Battery March, Basseville, President Routine. A lot of great stuff there. It's at, I think, is that the address? La Fabrique de Bois in Maxville, but it's in Nancy. I don't know too much more than that. You can see the flyer. Looks like it starts at 6 o'clock. So October 3rd and 4th. If you're not planning on that one, you definitely should. And we're going to wrap up with this show. I got to imagine it is Barrio San Francisco, Copacabana. I think this has got to be Colombia. I am not sure where. But Polla y Pogo Fest, Pola y Pogo Fest, with Punkies y Cerebro, ODIO, Rosita y Los Nefastos, Detective Wad, Genocidio Nuclear. So go check that out. That'll be tomorrow, the 20th, at 6 o'clock, 10, I don't know what 10K is as far as denomination goes. But go check it out. Looks like a lot of fun. Thank you for tuning in to this week's Live and Wired. We will be back next week with more. Go check out the podcasts and all the other things. Share some stuff. Share some shows if you want the shows shared here. Well, you know what to do. Reach out to us. But until then, we'll catch you on the next one.